Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, committee members. I'm Gayle Roland, and I'm here representing myself. And I hope thousands of other Texans who have found themselves in a financial situation where they needed to seek out temporary solutions to money problems and went to a payday loan. Okay. I'm a single person. I work full-time, and I live from payday to payday. If there's anything that comes up outside of the scope of my rent, my car payment, my utilities, I struggle with that. And so during a time, I went to a payday lender and got a loan. I paid on it for months. They debited out of my bank account, so the funds for them were certainly guaranteed. And what that does to the lender, it leaves very little left to meet basic expenses. And so now we're kind of at a standstill. I want to pay, but they're taking almost everything and leaving me with not much. And so I've contacted them and explained my situation and asked them if there was something that we could work out. Okay. Am I responsible for the decision I made? Absolutely. Do I owe the money? Yes, I do, and I want to repay that. But today I've already repaid the amount that I borrowed, and the amount that I owe is more than I borrowed to begin with. Okay. Mr. Craddick's bill is a good one, and I'm hoping that I can give you enough information to say that we make bad decisions. The payday lenders help us make bad decisions. They make it extremely easy. They make it extremely fast. If you go into one of the storefronts, you will be out with the money that you need in 10 or 15 minutes. And I think when we have a financial need, we are looking for that. We're desperate. Is it right? I've learned the hard way. And there's been a lot of talk about people continuing on that path. I can assure you this will be my last one. I have sought credit counseling. Okay, there's an organization in Houston that's going to work with me to set up a budget and to put me on track. So I don't plan to be in this situation, but these have been hard times for Texans. I've been with the same employer for over 10 years. We have not had any salary adjustments for 8, 9 of those 10 years. These are hard times for people. And we're not borrowing money to have fun. I borrowed for medical expenses, and I'm sure people that came in the storefronts after me, all of our stories would be different, but there would be a desperate need. And we would choose them because they're so fast and so easy. You know, I heard about credit reports. I don't think they do that. They were interested, did I have a check on me? Did I have proof of income? Did I have a driver's license? And that's all it took. And then they started taking the money out of the account. They'll continue to do that as long as I have direct deposit and I have an open bank account. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you for the Texas consumers. We need your help in passing this bill. If you help one person, or if I'm here, if I can make a difference for one person, it's worth the time that I took to drive here and to come before this committee. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming up and telling your story. And giving us a person to ask questions particular to your case, and I think we may have some questions.
Yeah, with you being here, you're going to get questions. I ask everybody questions, so I'm not picking on you. So, you came up from Houston?
From Houston.
Okay. And I appreciate it because it does help us put a story in a face instead of just groups coming up and saying we know people, or because I think we've all, being here last session, we've heard things, but I appreciate you for you taking the time to come up from Houston and sharing your story. And obviously you had a medical need, and you felt like that was your answer to help you meet that need. Again, had you been to one before that? Had you ever borrowed money before that need from one?
No, this is my first time,
yeah.
And I hope my last.
And I guess, and how did you find out about it? Because I'm learning. I wasn't on this committee last year, so I'm the one that asked a bunch of questions. Because
the green sheet. Are you familiar with the green sheet?
Yeah, the green sheet in Houston. Yeah.
Okay. There's huge advertisements for them. What drew me to this particular one is that they advertised a 12-month loan. Okay. But as it turned out, that's not what happened. It was much shorter than that. And the payments were huge.
And so, the way I understand this bill, and I'm anxious to get the commissioner up here. We can talk to the commissioner about it if we can, so I can put it in perspective when I ask these questions. These would be, and I guess, do you know if you would be able to have made the payments of these other? This basically. There's already some short-term lenders out there, small loan lenders out there. I don't think, tell me what they're called. And so what this bill does, what I understand, is it moves all of the short-term loans or all of this into being regulated just like currently they are, have the same rules apply to them, and they are still a high. There's still a cost to that maybe you wouldn't pay if you had a conventional loan. And I didn't know have you had a chance to see if you would have borrowed from them, if you would have had the same issue?
If I had borrowed from my bank?
No, from this bill moves. Well, I'm going to ask. I'll just wait and ask the commissioner some questions related to this to make sure I understand the differences. How did you find out about the hearing today in Mr. Craddick's bill?
It was a little journey getting here. I read an article in the Houston Chronicle about payday lending and how it was affecting people.
And you said, that's me.
It was me.
Yeah.
And so the article was written by the Pew Foundation. So I got online, I looked them up, and I sent them an email. And I thanked them for what they were doing, that I hoped that they would make a difference. And a few days later, I got an email from them, which took me totally by surprise.
Yeah.
Okay? And they asked if they could put me in contact with Texas Appleseed. And so a few days later, I got an email from Texas Appleseed asking if I would be willing to talk with them about payday lending. And in turn, they called and asked if I would be willing to drive to Austin today and talk with the committee. So
that's great. Well, that's citizenship in action, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do it and visit with us. And you see, you've got a lot of advocates that testify a little bit before you, and you had a bishop here, I think, even. So it's a pretty good advocate on your side. There's no telling what Tom Craddick has for us to bring next. So thank you for your testimony today.
We know for me, I might be less affected because I'm only one person, and I'm single. But I am certainly concerned about families who make the choice that I did. How do they support their families? Provide the basic needs for children. It's important. This is important. If I were your mother or your sister or your daughter, I think
I have one of all of them.
You have all of them?
Yeah, I have all of them.
You got the wife part too.
You know, we need your help.
Well, Ms. Roland, I'd like to say too, I think you're a very powerful witness in bringing your story forward, and the time and expense to get here today. We appreciate that very much, and that's what this whole system is based on. So.
Well, you're welcome.
You bet.
Am I embarrassed about the situation I'm in? Of course. But somewhere along the line, you have to step up and do what's right. And I hope that y'all will do that. Thank you.
Members, do you have any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm very fond of saying that government's run by people that show up.
Thank
And you showed up.
I
Thank
showed
you.
up.
Okay. Thank you very much.